Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. We are getting ready to start turn 13. Lucky or unlucky turn 13. We are going to find out. It is a winter turn, it looks like. Early 1781. And this is huge because turn 14 is next. And if this Liberty Bell stays at 7 or lower, I believe that I can, this Lord North resigns. I believe I can resign and claim a minor British victory, but we'll see. We shall see. In the meantime, my target state has the French army and just this horrible stack of there we go. Let's get a ground level view. A horrible stack of Continentals and Cos units and everything else in it. So that's not good. Okay, but before we get started, I do have one minor adjustment to make, and that is in the last turn, I put the Francis Marion Cos unit in the prisoner of war box because he lost a battle in Carolina, but Cos units do not go in the prisoner of war box. They go over into the rebel force pool. And so really, this unit would have gone into the rebel force pool, but after that we did have a rebel placement into Carolina with the Cos unit. So really he should be back in this stack. He should be with all these Continentals. So we're going to take one of these Cos units and swap it out for the Francis Marion Cos unit because he really by rights ought to be in there because he always gets placed first into Carolina and he does not go to jail. So let's do that. And then just another quick note, and this is, I don't, like I said, I do not force march units a lot. And so I made the mistake last turn of when I moved a unit from Carolina up to Pennsylvania. And actually there were two units, but one died and he would have died no matter what anyway. But when you move a unit into a state that is not adjacent, it's a +1 to the die roll. And additionally, if you move him to a county with rebel forces in it, it's another +1 die roll. So the one lobster that I moved from, I think it was Tidewater or maybe it was Charlestown, up to I think it was this county, Pennsylvania County 1. That would have been a +2 to the modifier, and he would not have survived. I'm not going to change it because I don't remember exactly what transpired up here, so I'm just going to let it stand. Like I said, I've done far worse to hurt myself in this game than to help myself, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. So, turn 13. Let's take a quick look around here. So the target county is last turn. The target county, or last turn for this target county, target state is the last target state. I'm trying to say is Carolina, not the last target state. Okay. Carolina is the target state for the last time in this turn. Virginia will be next. So things that I need to look at: holding Virginia. And of course, two other states next turn. But this turn, I really need to keep this Liberty Bell down. So if I really want to do that, I do need to take back Carolina and hold on to two states. And right now I've got a problem in Carolina, as I told you. You see this stack. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I even want to try it to take Carolina back. I tried something similar in Pennsylvania last turn. It didn't work too good. Or was it New York? I can't even remember. But the French fleet was there, and it turned out to be a big mistake. So I don't want to do that again. So let's just take a quick look here. This is, let's see, it's a town. So this French army is at maximum strength. And we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I would have to, I don't think I can do it. I don't think it's going to be possible. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here yet. Don't know what my approach is going to be. But let's worry about that when we get there, I suppose. Let's go ahead and start turn 13. and we receive our money. We get 12 pounds this turn. Well, I still had 5 left over from last turn, so it's 12 plus 5 is 17, but you can only go as high as 16, so I lost a pound. Should have spent it, but I didn't. Don't think probably could have raised loyalty. Probably should have spent that pound instead of losing it, but you do lose them. You don't get to carry over those anything above 16, so that's good and bad. Good that we have 16, bad that we lost a pound. And then where'd my little, there it is. Didn't move this back up. Little marker here. To follow news instructions for turn 13. And we grab the rule book here. Continental dollars collapse. All right. I haven't seen this one in a while. Unrestrained deficit spending by Congress, backed by enormous issues of worthless paper money, led to the near collapse of the U.S. economy. Only massive cash infusions from France kept the war effort going. At the same time, the British were able to pay American farmers and merchants in real money, further depressing public enthusiasm for the revolution in many places. The British player may this turn raise loyalty by +3 for every pound spent on trading with the enemy. Wow, so this would have been nice last turn. And we'll have to remember that this news event is out there when we get to trading with the enemy. So what they're saying is if I were in Virginia, paying that pound to increase loyalty in Virginia for having a lobster unit in the county, instead of it going up by 1, it would go up by 3. So it looks like in Virginia that would be 6. For if I paid 2 pounds, I could raise loyalty in Virginia by 6. Make sure that's what that's saying. For this turn only, raise loyalty by +3 for each pound. So that's huge. It's also going to be hard to do because I need lobsters in these states. And the states I need them in, fortunately Virginia, because it is going to be the last target state for those last 3 turns. So really the only one that would matter. And it wouldn't matter here because Virginia's loyalty is currently sitting at 2, which is abysmal. All right, so that's the news event. And now we placed our smugglers. It's like the privateers are out, so there's some good news. And let's roll a d6 and see what we get. A 4. So a smuggler goes to Sea Zone 4. That's Delaware Bay. And let's go to the naval phase, rebase the French fleet. And it's not hurricane season. Boston if hurricane season, so they go to the Caribbean. And now we attack the smugglers. We don't want to forget to do that. Okay, I have 3 frigates, so let's see. What do I want to do here? Definitely want to take this privateer out because he's still feeding into the target state, so let's take Parker and send him to the North Atlantic. That's 2 pounds for Parker. And then I'm gonna, let's see, that was Parker, right? Yeah, that's Parker too. I guess one of my strength 3s are missing, so be 3 more pounds to bring these guys out. So that'll take me to 11 pounds. And I'm going to attack these 2 smugglers. Make sure I want to do that. I'm looking at New York here. So we only have 2 Continentals in New York. We only have 2 Continentals in New England. So, of course, New England will receive 2 more Continentals, it looks like. So I kind of write that off again, really. But I could try to take back New York. Maybe give me a little bit of insurance against what's going on. But Washington's there. It is a New York siege turn, so he'll stay there. And Congress is there. So it would be nice to drive Congress into flight again and see if we can't get the Liberty Bell to actually go down by 1. Could be a strategy, actually. Could put a couple of units into Hudson Highlands here, hoping that There's a battle there with this privateer, maybe randomly, or maybe we'll get a campaign. So that might be something to consider, actually. See if we can drive Congress into flight. That would be useful. I think this is where I'm going to put my smugglers. Let's just go ahead and do it. Okay, we'll start up here in the North Atlantic. So the privateer gets to fire first. He needs a 1 or 2 to stop Parker. He does not. So now we need a 4 or less to get rid of it, that privateer. Good. So the privateer comes back to the Caribbean and Parker goes to in harbor. That takes us to Delaware here. So Hal's going to fire at this smuggler. Oh, and he misses. That's painful. So he goes back to in harbor. And Graves is going to fire his shot at this smuggler. Not what I wanted to see. That's not going to be good. All right. Shadow the French fleet. So now I didn't hold anybody back because I really didn't want to. I was half considering maybe using a sacrificial unit in New England where these 2 continentals are. So the theory being that if I put any one British unit into Rhode Island here, this would cause a battle and it would be a chance of French intervention. And so what that would do, if it were successful, or well, unsuccessful, I guess from my point of view as the British, but if the French did intervene in this battle, it would draw this French army out of Carolina. But as I just showed you, there's really there's really just way too many continentals in there. So I don't know if that would do me much good or not. I don't think it would. I'd have to, with what I've got left to work with unit wise, and we're not going to get a whole lot back. We're going to 5 of these are going to remain prisoners of war. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, 5 are going to remain prisoners of war. 6 will come back out. So I'm not going to have a whole lot of units to play with here, really, to try to take back Carolina. And of course, if I don't take Carolina in 2 states, this Liberty Bell will go up to 7. And then I would have to hold it there through turn 14 to claim that marginal victory. I mean, it's maybe a chance I have to take. I just don't think there's anything I can do about Carolina this turn. Let's look again. So I think I said this totaled up to just 20 with the Continentals. It was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. That's 19 with just the Continentals. 27 total with the French army being there. I'm going to let's put Lee on top so that I know that he's there. Although it doesn't matter because he's in Carolina, and that's I'm talking about horse actions going through Carolina. There's nothing south of it. Yeah, that's a massive stack. 27, did I say, strength points? I'd need 27 strength points. 19, even if I did get the French army out of Carolina. Now, it might be worth considering getting the French army out of Carolina just as a setup for next turn. It's risky. So I don't know if that's a good approach. It's kind of painful to write off Carolina because it would leave, barring any campaigns, it would leave all these units in Carolina. But like I said, it's not going to be a target state next turn, so it might be something to think about. And then in Pennsylvania, what are we looking at? We have 2 Continentals and a Cause unit, so that's not horrible. And of course, this Continental's not so great in a town or a fort, so something else to think about. So shouting the French fleet, no. So let's go through this winter attrition. Maybe this will change the board a little bit. So it's a 3 is the 3 is now the number that they're trying to do better than, I believe. The survival number, they must roll higher than the survival number. So they're looking for anything above a 3. Of course, there's modifiers to that. So let's do this first. Continental armies only, doesn't affect cause units or the French. And we'll start up here in New England. And they are in a town, so I think that's going to be a modifier. It's a +2 if they're in a town. And they'll get no other modifiers there, so it's just a +2 on a d6 roll. And they've got to get, do I even need to roll? Let's see, so they got to get above 3. So if they roll a 1 +2 is, well, they could, in theory, if they roll a 1, that would be enough to have them not survive. So look, I guess we have to do it then. So we'll start with this top continental. And he definitely survives. And this bottom one, he does not survive. So 1 plus the 2 for being in a town is 3. So he had to get higher than a 3 to survive. So he goes back into the force pool. So that's good. Okay, moving down to New York. We have 2 continentals in Europe. Yeah, we do. So this might be a little bit different. There may not be a need to roll here. Still trying to get higher than a 3. So it's a farm, so that's +1. Washington's there, so that's +2 more, so that's +3. So no point in rolling here because they're already getting +3. So they roll a 1, they automatically beat it. And then Pennsylvania, there are 2 continentals here. They're in a town, so that's +2. And it is Pennsylvania, so that doesn't matter. It's not a farm. There are no Indian units in the state. So again, they're getting just the +2, so they would need a 1 here to not survive. So let's start with this leftmost continental. He survives. And this other continental, let's hope he rolls a 1. Nope, he survives. And so now we come down to Carolina, and I don't think there's even a need to check here because it's +2 for being in Carolina. And they are in a town, so it's +2 for the town. So it's +4, so they survive. Not even need to check. They're nice and warm in Carolina, and they're not going anywhere. So that doesn't really change the board a whole lot. That it did take one of the ones out of New England, so maybe, I know we have 2 smugglers out there, but maybe something we want to think about is taking back New England if we can. And I honestly don't remember if we held New England at all in this game or not. I have to go back and look. Okay, so amnesty. We are now looking at either side having more than 5 prisoners, and it's just us in there, and we have way more than 5. So, right off the bat, I'm going to put, well, let's get the Hessians at the top here. I'm not going to say I'm not going to bring out any Hessians, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. Okay, so let's look at what we need to do, and based on strength points, we'll take 5 out of there, or 6 out of there, I believe it is, right? Yeah, so we can pull 6 out of there. Okay, like I said, this is 27, and I don't think 1, 2, 3 is 9. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. I am not going to be able to take Carolina this turn. So I think I need to focus on holding Virginia at all costs, and maybe trying to take Pennsylvania and maybe New York. Maybe New York. Like I said, the only reason to think about taking New York is the fact that Congress is there, and there's a chance of putting them into flight, and that would keep the Liberty Bell from rising, if nothing else. Now we've already had that happen 3 times in this game. I don't think it happened 4. I think I've used all my luck up to this point. So let's see. I may just leave the Hessians and then one other unit. These guys are good. I mean, see, it's kind of balanced here, really. I think I am. I think I'm just going to leave these 4 Hessians and one other unit. But what is that one other unit going to be? Again, it depends on what I'm going to do. We definitely want a unit in Hampton Roads, and I kind of want to get these Continentals out of Pennsylvania and New York, so that's farmland here, so we kind of want to lean towards the farmland county strength point guys, and here it's the stronghold town strength points we're looking for. So like this would be good to bring into around Philadelphia. This one would be a good one. These guys would be good in farm. These guys would be good in wilderness. So, and it might not be a bad idea to put, like I said, maybe a guy up here to, well, like I said, there's really no need to draw the French out of Carolina. There's just no need. Maybe put a guy here just to try to hold this mass in Carolina. I don't know. Again, it's going to depend on what happens when we get into the campaign phase. Just a Hessian unit here, and there's one unit in each of these counties. And we've got... So I am going to leave behind... I think it's going to be this loyalist. He's going to stay behind. So that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so these will get to come back to the British force pool. So let's bring them back. All right. So that was our amnesty and parole phase. And again, there were no paroles because there were no rebel units in there. Unit purchase. So let's take a look here. I've got 11 pounds. What would it cost to buy everybody? I really need to buy everybody. So these are £1 each. These gold band. This is a gold band. I didn't leave a horse up there. No, the horse. Okay, there's a lot. I thought maybe I might have left the horse unit up there. That would have been not a smart thing to do. I think they're all. I think these are all £1 each. There's no blue bands, no horse units, no white band foots, no blue band foots, no gold band horse. Yeah, these are all. So it would be £7 to get all these out. So that would take me down to £4, but this is the turn where the Continental dollars collapsed. It would only leave me with £4, but that would be +3, I think it said, to the loyalty. So that's not bad. That's not bad. And I don't see any reason at this stage of the game to leave these units in the British force pool. So that's £7 for that lot. So £7. So that's down to £4, and now we deploy those. And this is where it gets. This is where there's a lot of thinking going on. Lots of thinking. So right off the bat, I'm pretty sure I want to try to take back Pennsylvania. So let's have a quick look in here. They're at 4 strength points. They are at 4 strength points in around Philadelphia. So it's 4 strength points there. I got the horse I can bring into this if I want to. I can also shuffle some more of these units around. And we have a strength 3 lobster there. So if they're at 7, want these guys because they're any of these guys would work because they're 3 strength in towns. So I think I'm gonna grab. I think for sure we're gonna grab this loyalist and put him in there. And or do I want to do that? So like I said, let's hang on a second here. Let's put the ones we know are going in there for sure. I really think we need to send in one of these lobsters. And then the horse would come in with 2 if we decide to bring him over. I could move this other lobster in the unit movement phase. That would get me to 6. I still want to get another. Maybe I do put this loyalist in. So that would be 9, potentially 11. It's a start, so let's not get too carried away. Let's go back, look at Virginia. I think I would like to see one more lobster in Hampton Roads. If nothing else, like I said, with Virginia being the target state next turn, this extra lobster this turn, should they survive, would let me raise loyalty by 9 if I have any money left. And that would be great for Virginia because they're sitting at 2 right now. Of course, all it takes is a campaign to change the board in an instant, as you've seen the last 2 or 3 turns. I'm half tempted to throw somebody in here again just to get. Well, then again, no. I think we're going to make a play for New York here too. So their strength 4 in the farm. It is a stronghold. And so it's this farm. So we have this loyalist and another loyalist. That would put us at 5. New York's loyalty is abysmal. Washington's there. Congress is there. There's another continental coming in. Do I gamble and just completely ignore Carolina? Still, I think I do. Do I need to put more units into Pennsylvania? I probably do. So if I were to attack New York with their 2 strength points in the farmland, and that would give me 5. That would be 7 to the 2. It would only leave me 1 guy to put in. Wilderness area really is where he should go. Oh, so I don't know that I want to do that. I'm kind of already looking ahead to next turn. So we know we've got to have Virginia and then 2 other states. Do I put somebody into New England? I really wished I had more units right now. Really wished I had more units. I don't feel like I'm in a position to go on the offensive here. I think, do we just fight defensively for the rest of the game? Maybe we just try to hang on to New York, Pennsylvania, and Virginia with everything we've got. And then let the chips fall where they may in New England and Carolina. And to do that, what I would do is I would probably put another unit into 1 or 2 units. It's all these 2 smugglers sitting here. So I need to take Philadelphia and kind of shore up these 2 counties. At the same time, I need to get rid of what's going on here in Hudson Valley. So we were at 5. There's going to be a column shift up there because Congress is in session. And again, another strategy would be to put, say, these 2 loyalists into Hudson Highlands and hope there's a battle there and drive Congress into flight. I mean, that's the strategy. Then I would take these 2 guys and move them into Pennsylvania. Now I'm leaning towards this actually because there is a chance. So if I were to put these 2 guys into Hudson Highlands, so they're this wilderness, so they're both good units. There'd be 6 strength points in the wilderness. Another thing I could do is split them. I could put one in, I don't know though. I could put one up here and one down here, but I don't know if there's any logic to that because I really want to see a battle in here that I can win, drive Congress into flight. And so it's a gamble because it would take this Continental being placed into Hudson Highlands, and you got to roll a 4 for that to happen. And what are the odds of that? Not very good. I could also do something like this where I try to force a battle, and this would cause, if there is a battle here and I got a retreat result, I would come this way and there's a well, they wouldn't pursue though, would they? But it would still keep Hudson Highlands shored up. And then I would want to see this loyalist in one of these counties, and we could put him in the Quaker County. That would eliminate, where it's Pennsylvania's loyalties sit. They're really low too, so a battle in there would, we wouldn't have to worry about militia calls anyway. Leaving me this lobster. So the question is, another thing I could do is put one of these loyalist units into New Jersey in the hopes of ruining any chance of retreat from any other battles. I could also do that with this British lobster. I could put him in here. Of course, I can also shuffle these guys around, or both, so I don't know. I don't think it's worth trying to just trigger a battle here with these guys. I think really it's either split them in the wilderness or put them both in Hudson Highlands here. And the gamble is the roll of a 4. And then if there's a campaign, if they came in, they would go to Hudson Valley because that's where they're stacked. I'm going to put them both in Hudson Highlands, I think. And lastly, this lobster unit. Do we put him in New Jersey in the hopes that we stop any kind of retreat that may occur? Would also give us some hope for keeping Pennsylvania for next turn. I could also put him in Hampton Roads as insurance of keeping Virginia. Remember, I'm thinking ahead, major campaigns. We don't know what's going to happen in Virginia. We saw it happen to Carolina. I could also put him up in the wilderness up here. He's only a 1 though. I could also put him in River Forts up there. He's a 3. And that would, don't think that would do me much good though. I could also use him up here to try to fight a battle in New England and hope that, I just don't think that's worth it. I think I need to write off New England and Carolina. I really do. So it's only going to make sense to put this lobster unit in one of these 3 states. And the only question I'm thinking now is where to put him. I need to hold 3 states. I mean, I could put him up in here. He's a 3 in River Forts, just in anticipation of next turn and trying to hold the target state and 2 other states. I mean, I could also put him in here with these units, which would be still trying to... there's just no point in that at this point, I don't think. Not with the column shifts that are going to happen. All right. I don't know. We'll see. Let's just leave it like that. And unit movement. So now this is where I shuffle within the state. So really the only one I'm really concerned about now is Pennsylvania. These are going to stay where they're at. Well, I could consider doing this, but like I said, I don't think that's the smartest thing to do. I do want to put somebody, I think, into New Jersey here. This horse unit, maybe, because he is a 3 in farmland, but then again, that horse unit, probably going to have him move around. I'm probably going to move him into this battle, in fact, so if anything happens to him, that would be bad. I could take the Hessians, or I could take these loyalists and stick them in here, and then just leave the Hessian unit here. Give me a 4 here. I also probably need to support this battle that's about to go. So I got 6 to their 7 right now. Or is it 5? Oh, it's 6 to their 4. Wait a minute here. Yeah, 2, 3, 4. So it's 6 to their 4. Bringing in the horse would give me 8 to their 4. Bringing in this lobster, that would be 9. 11 if I bring in the horse, which I probably would. And that would leave the Hessian here to defend this Wilderness County. We have this unit defending Quaker County, New Jersey. I think I like that better. I don't think I'm going to move these around, and I don't think I'm going to move any of these around. All right. Let's leave it like that. Oh, forced march. And I'm not going to force march anybody. That's just not going to happen this turn. British horse action. Again, I do have a horse unit, but he's going to sit right where he's at, maybe? I don't think I want to move him to New York for any reason. Not at this time. Let's just leave him where he's at. Okay, and place George Washington. Well, this is a New York City siege turn, so he's not going anywhere except New York. And I think that's right. Let's make sure. Again. If the current turn is a New York City siege turn, you must place him in New York instead. So yeah, he's going to stay in New York. And I think this is the last turn he stays in New York. Yep, it is. All right. And we go into the first battle phase. Starting with New York. No battles there. And I feel like I probably should have instigated a battle there, but no, I didn't. Pennsylvania. There is a battle in Pennsylvania. So let's get our battle marker out. Move our Continentals. Move our British. Well, check. I'm making sure I didn't forget anything. They're actually... Now see, this is... And I wasn't paying attention. This is actually a blue dye county. And this is why I should have stuck one of those units up here. This is what I was hemming and hawing over. And that, if I didn't, that was dumb. I should have placed probably this lobster up here just to see if I could have drawn off the French army. Too late now. I'm going to say, and we'll do the British horse action because we are going to have we do have a chance to bring in this loyalist unit. So first and foremost, I have to check for French intervention. And I really should have attempted to try to pull that French army up into New England. No guarantee what happened though, so it's not the end of the world. So we're going to roll a d6, and since the French fleet is in the Caribbean, the French will intervene on a roll of 5 or 6. So it's not a modified roll because I did not shatter the French fleet. So do the French intervene? We roll and hope that it's anything other than a 5 or a 6. Okay. So the French fleet comes up to Delaware Bay, and the French army is going to come into this stack over here. Okay. This is unreal. This is completely unreal. So the French army does intervene. Oh my gosh. I really, really, really wish I had noticed that I wasn't sitting in a blue die county there. I would have tried to draw off the French army into New England. But I didn't. So we checked for French intervention. The French fleet is here. Let's spread these out. I am the attacker here. Not that means anything. Well, it means a little bit. And we check for... Well, let's do the call for militia. So, it is a stronghold. That's a +1 to the roll. I don't think there's nobody's in the leadership box, so it's just going to be +1 to the militia roll. And Pennsylvania is at 1. And let's see what we get for our militia call. Get a 4 +1 is 5, so it's 1, 2. All right, and then it's like now we can call. Well, now we can move the horse reaction, and that'll be we can choose to bring in this horse unit if we choose. Let's see where we're at here. Pretty sure we're going to have to do that now that the French army is sitting there. So we've got 9, 10. And they've got 10, 12, 14. So we are definitely going to bring in the horse unit. So this will give us 10, what did I say? 9, 10, 12. So this will give us a 12. If I can control Tabletop Simulator. 12, and they've got 8, 10, 12, 14. Will put us on the 65% column. And there are no column shifts for any reason here. It's just a attack. We attack on the 65% column. And we get a 3. It's an exchange, which is bad for us because they have more strength points than we do, so we lose. Okay, so I said they had 14. And we have to eliminate 14 strength points. So if we eliminate... Well, we really can't do it any other way other than... Well, that would be 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can't do it. We're going to have to leave a unit behind. And with an exchange... Then we retain our weakest non-militia unit. So our weakest non-militia unit in this area is going to be this loyalist. So these guys will all go to the prisoner of war box. Wait, what am I doing? Doing it backwards. These guys all go to the prisoner of war box. So they had 2, we had 1, so they have to eliminate 12. And of course the French, I don't think ever get factored in. They don't. So they have to eliminate 12. So now they have to eliminate 10. There's 2 from the militia. So if they eliminate 10, so the French have to remain on the battlefield here. If the rebels win in exchange and the French army is in the stack, the French always survive to hold the battlefield. So, well, that's good and bad. It's good in that this cause unit and these Continentals have to go to the... oops, wait, did they go back in the force pool, I think? I think it says they're eliminated, and if they're eliminated, then they have to go back into the... The winning side must eliminate. Yeah, so they have to go back. Well, eliminated is they do go to the prisoner war box. So they are eliminated. The French army will stay in around Philadelphia. We lost the battle in Pennsylvania, so their loyalty will decrease. Well, let's just put this here. Clear that. So, it was a blue dye county, but we were eliminated, so we don't get to retreat to the sea. Wouldn't matter. The French fleet was there. French army does retain. We eliminated the cause unit and the 2 Continentals, so I believe we adjusted our loyalty. I think that's it for the... As if that weren't enough, I think that's it for the battle in Pennsylvania. There are none in Virginia. There are none in Carolina. I do believe that the first battle phase is over, and it could not have ended any worse than it did. Yeah, I don't see anything else there. So we go to the place rebels phase. Man, that really that couldn't have been any worse. I really wish I had noticed that this was the blue dye county. I would have at least tried to draw the French army into New England. That would have been a smart thing to do, but oh well. All right, so place rebels. Let's form our committees of safety first. So first, let's see where they're going. We have 1 going into, well, you know what, Pennsylvania. So 1 cause unit will be placed into Pennsylvania, and he will go into county number 6. At least we have someone there. And now we place our Continentals. So let's roll to see where we start. We start in C Zone 5, and there are no smugglers there, none in 6, none in 1, but there are 2 in C Zone 2. Let's shuffle this, and we will draw 2 Continentals. And I think there's only 1 in there, I think. Let's make sure. Yep, there's only 1 in there. So this is good news, actually, because then we can't place these other ones. So let's see where this one goes. This is a random placement into County 1. So he's going to go into County 1. And because there are no more Continentals, we cannot place any in Long Island Sound, and we can't place any in Delaware Bay here. So that's a little bit of good news, I guess. And I wonder if that would have changed my decision if I'd known there was only 1 other Continental in that random cup. not what the rules are in the game. I mean, if you're playing this game and you're looking down, I think in the rule book they tell you to place the Continentals face down on a table upside down so you can't see them and randomly draw them that way. So if that were true, I would know that there would have only been one more Continental in there, but I don't know how that would have affected my placement. It might have, but who knows. Again, whatever. It's over now. And move George Washington, but again, we do not move George Washington because it is the last New York City siege turn, so he's going to stay in New York. Benedict Arnold is long gone, and now we go into the second battle phase. No battle in New England. There is no battle in New York. There is a battle in Pennsylvania, though, so we'll bring out this Cos unit and this Loyalist that are sitting in New Jersey. And we will battle. So Pennsylvania, I believe, is still at 0. Or not still at 0. I think they just went to 0. And I don't have the horse anymore. So he can't ride in here to help. Not a stronghold. There's no Hessians. It's like a straight roll on the militia table. Not that it matters. It's not going to be good no matter what we roll. We do roll a 6, which is the best we could do. So we get 1, they get 2. They are the attackers. So they are attacking in farmland at 1 plus 2 is 3. We are defending at 2 plus 1 is 3. So I'm pretty sure that's 100. No column shifts. And they attack. And they roll a 4 on the 100 column, we said. So that is another exchange. Another exchange. So another exchange. But this time it was a tie. And I know what this means. This means we both lose. If forces in an exchange are exactly equal, then the battle is a draw. Both sides are completely eliminated. And nobody wins. I missed double check. It was farmland, so we had 3, and they had 3. So it was a draw. We both lose. Okay, so both sides are eliminated. So that means this Cos unit goes into the force pool. Our Loyalist goes to jail. The militia is reset. No changes with loyalty because it was a draw, and nobody won. Bring the battle marker out, and now New Jersey is empty. I didn't want to see that either, but there you go. Okay, moving right along, there are no battles in Virginia, and there are no battles in Carolina. So that's going to end the second battle phase, taking us to the dread conduct rebel campaigns. Now this is going to be interesting, and I hope it's not too interesting, but this is going to be interesting. So let's see what happens here. Let's hope that we don't see doubles or a 6 or any 6s. So we roll 2d6. And we get a major campaign in New York, it looks like. And I may flip to the major campaign section. I know I should have the rules memorized by heart, but I'm trying my best to not miss anything. So we rolled a 2 and a 6, and double checking. If one of the rolls is a 1 through 5 and the other is 6, then a major campaign occurs in that one state. So it is a major campaign in New York. So let's just mark New York as being a major campaign state. Clear that. All right. Well, first thing we know, we've got to place reinforcements. So we know there's no more Continentals to be placed. So there's a little bit of good news there. But we do have plenty of Cos units. So we draw a Cos unit. We don't draw a Cos unit. We just grab one. And this Cos unit will go into... We know where he's going to go, but we're going to read it anyway. Place reinforcements in this priority. In the lowest number rebel-occupied county, so that's by default the only county they have forces in. It's Hudson Valley. So he will go into Hudson Valley with these 2 Continentals. Then move any rebel forces in higher number counties in that state to that county. Well, there's not any. So that's how he's placed. And we proceed on with the major campaign. Well, we have to look now to see if there's any extended support. So we check. So this is any state that has only rebel units. So the only one that, well, Carolina's like that. Before I speak too soon here, so Carolina and New England are the only ones that can be checked this way. So what's going to happen is, I'm just rereading this. I've lost my place. Place all the rebel units in the critical county. So let's start with New England. So that's going to be, I think I only have two here. They do. So we place all rebel units in the critical county in New England. I lost my place again. Bear with me. If there are more than 2 rebel units, then leave 2 of them behind, and everybody else goes to join to extend support to that. So in New England, nobody's coming out of New England because they only have 2. So then we go to Carolina, and there's plenty of people that can help out here. So cause units do not apply. So let's get the Continentals out. And there's a lot of Continentals. So we know these cause units aren't going anywhere. And okay, and so this is where, again, we move them all to the critical county, but they're already there. If there are more than 2 rebel units in the state, then leave 2 of them behind, randomly picked Continentals, otherwise it's cause units. So we do have Continentals, so 2 of those Continentals will remain behind, and the rest of these units will go to support New England. Does that include the Francis Marion cause unit? I don't know why it wouldn't. I don't know why it wouldn't. I mean, I know it says he has priority placement into Carolina, but I don't think it says anything at all about him leaving Carolina. The special FM cause unit, it may not deploy to any other state, although it may advance into another state as a result of a planned operation. Well, this is not a planned operation yet, so I'm thinking he would not, because that's exactly what the rule says. We're in an extended support right now, so I'm going to say no. If we get into a planned operation, which you probably will, but I'm going to say he has to stay behind. And I think I still pick 2 Continentals to stay with him. So let's do that. And I'm going to do my old, we're just going to start here at the top, and on a 1, 2, or 3, the Continental will stay. So this Continental will stay. And so this cause unit is going. We determined that. And then this Continental is going to support. This Continental is staying. So these 2 Continentals and Francis Marion will stay in Charlestown. And all these other units are going to provide extended support to New York. So the rest of the rebels in that state are added to the rebel stack in the major campaign state, and then they will fight the major campaign. So all of these units come up to New York. It's a good thing the French army wasn't in there, but I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot because of what is in here. So so all these cause units now go into Hudson Valley. All these Continentals, I should say. And there is a stack. Wow. All right. And now we do the major campaign. And if you remember, it's basically they're going to march through the state till they hit the other end. So It is an attack priority here, so they are going to... I'll read it to you, but we know which way they're going to go. So it says, in the lowest... I'm sorry, the attack party, not the placement. Here we go. Attack British units in the same county. Well, that's not it. Attack the nearest British forces to the left. So they're just going to go left. And the only way that this massive stack will stop is if it takes any losses through an exchange or an attacker eliminated, or if it retreats through a retreat or, if it retreats through a retreat result. So that's what we have to hope for here in Hudson Highlands. So now when Congress is there and Washington is there. So they're going to move into Hudson Highlands. So let's bring them out. And let's place them so that we can easily calculate their strength points when we do this. And we'll grab the Continentals first. And we'll grab the Cause unit. I can put them this way because our units aren't going to take up that much space. So, and then our loyalist units are in the battle box. All right, so we call for militia. So let's go back to that. So we check our modifiers to this. There are no Indians or Hessians present. And it is not a loyalist stronghold. Washington's there, but he doesn't affect this. Vermont is pro-British, though. So, you know, that I forgot that last time. Oh, well, it's not going to matter. So, but here it will. So, well, no, it won't either. So, we'll get a +1 for Vermont, but we get... I thought we'd get a -1 for Congress here, but no, I guess that's only state loyalty. So, no Indians, no Hessians, non-loyal stronghold. I guess we do get the +1. I don't guess it's offset by anything. Grab my notes real quick. For the call for militia, so the only thing that would decrease it are Indians or Hessians. So yeah, we do get a +1 to our militia call here because of Vermont. I don't know why I spent so long worried about that. It's not going to help us a whole lot. Because New York is sitting at 0, right? Yeah, so they're at 0. And let's see what we get. A 2. So they get 3 and we get nothing. And they attack at Wilderness. So I guess there's a small positive there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, 21, 24. So they're attacking at 24. And we are defending at 6. All right. So what we're hoping for here is a 1, because that would be an exchange, and that would be enough to at least stop the horde and not clear out New York. So let's see. We are hoping for a 1. Oh, tease me. So that is defender eliminated. So these guys go to jail. And there is a column shift because... Actually, there would have been a column shift. Well, no, there wouldn't, because it's in... it is in their favor. So no, it wouldn't be a column shift. That would have ended up in the 400 column no matter what, I think. So there is a loyalty decrease, but there's not because it's already at 0. So yeah, nothing's going to change here other than I lose those units. And we'll clear this, and I'm not going to move the battle marker quite yet because they're not done yet. So they did clear that out, and they're going to march on to... Now they're going to march into river forts. So now there's going to be a battle here. Bring out my little British unit, and... Wow, okay. Well, it was an exchange, though. No, wait, it wasn't an exchange. What am I saying? We were looking for an exchange. It was a defender eliminated. So we are going on. So this is in river forts. It is a fort, so it is that third strength column. Militia call, not a stronghold. We still get a +1 for pro-Vermont. Won't do us any good, as we know. Well, we still get 1. They get 2. That's 2 6s in a row for us on that roll, and it is the best that we can do, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. So for fun, let's do this addition again, but now they're in a stronghold, so it is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 17, 19, 21. So they have 21 that they're attacking with. And we are defending at 3, 4. Divided by 4. So with the column shift, we'd be over here somewhere on this felt tabletop with the column shift. So let's roll. Again, we're hoping for a 1. And we get a 3 again, so that's defender eliminated. So this British unit is now in this overcrowded prison. And nothing again changes because the loyalty's at 0. And we lose the battle. So they win here. They're going to march into the frontier. And the only question I have now, let's see. I think they all go back into the critical county because I think this is where they go for a planned operation, which is more fun for us. So let's go back to... Okay, so if the rebels rid the state of all British players, the campaign does not end. Instead, it may expand further into a planned operation. So if it sweeps the British out of the state, place all of the rebels in that state in the critical county. If the campaign state is not the target state, well, it's not. So all these units are going to pile back into Hudson Valley, because remember, Hudson Valley is the critical county for New York. And now they will conduct a campaign against the target state. Well, the only good news here is the target state is still Carolina, which I'd kind of written off anyway. So the same thing's going to happen here. They're going to leave 2 random continentals behind and go to the target state. So let's see. So let's first things first. We know that they're leaving 2 behind, and we'll leave 2 random. Again, I guess this is random, right? Yeah, follow the same procedure as extended support. So 2 random continentals will stay in New York. So we will start with the continental above Lee here and just work our way down. On a roll of 1 to 3, they will stay in Hudson Valley. So let's see. So he's going to stay in Hudson Valley. And let's bring this battle marker back out so we know they're staying in Hudson Valley. Let's see if Lee is going to stay in Hudson Valley. He's not, so Lee's going to go on to battle. And down here, Morgan is going to stay. So Morgan is going to stay in New York. All of these units, and I forgot to reset this, let's do that. All of these units will now march down to the critical county, and they will be placed into the... Well, it's the same placement priority, so they're going to go into the lowest number of rebel-occupied counties, so that's going to be by default Charlestown. So basically, this massive stack is coming back to Carolina, so we'll get our cause units down. And we will just start placing these Continentals back in to Charlestown. They all come back to Carolina. And so what would happen here is they would do the same thing that they just did in... Oh, wait, we're not done yet. I forgot one little thing. I almost got done. If the French army is in any state or in Boston, then it's also going to join this planned operation. So the French army... This is good news for us, really, because it does get the French army out of Philadelphia. I mean, well, yeah, Philadelphia, which is what I wanted. So there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. And then we would place George Washington, but he doesn't move because there's no place for him to go, no leadership box, and it is a New York City under siege turn. Okay, and so they launched the campaign. It's the same thing. They would march all the way to the left in Carolina, sweep us free of all British units, but then they would pile back into this critical county, which is what it says here. If completely successful, boy, are you in trouble, and we are. Place the remaining rebels in the critical county of the target state. So there they are. And that is that for the major campaign. I think I've done everything that I was supposed to do. I hope I caught all the rules there. I don't know what more I could have done that would have helped me. I don't think anything. All right, so that was rebel campaigns, and this will bring us down to trading with the enemy. And remember from our news event, and I'm going to pull out the rules again, the news event anyway, just so I can see if I read this correctly. Continental dollars collapsing. This turn only, raise loyalty by +3 for every pound spent trading with the enemy. So I am definitely going to want to spend money doing this. And I can only do it in Virginia. I can't do it, I don't have any lobsters anywhere else, so I can do it. I have 3 lobsters in Virginia. I can spend 3 pounds and raise Virginia's loyalty by 9. Because it's 3 per county. Only I had 1 in Tidewater. And I probably should have put somebody in there maybe to try to get this thing up even higher. But too late now. So I'm going to spend 3 pounds. And 3 times 3 is 9. So 9... +2 is 11. That's really huge for us. So that's going to move them to Virginia's maximum loyalty. And that's good because Virginia is our target state next turn. So that'll help us with any battles that take place in Virginia. Jefferson won't though. See, Jefferson's still out there. Although he will. He will actually help us if he's still there because he does column shifts in our favor because he's not a very good military leader. But he thinks he is. So we'll let him think that. Okay, so that's trading with the enemy. Naval transports. I can now transport units around. I do have a pound left, so this is not... yeah, this is where we can... This is where I'm hemming and hawing because this is... I guess because it's also the part where we can, if we had anybody that retreated to sea, they would be able to land here. But if this is where I can pay a pound and move any unit to any county in any state as long as there's no rebel there. So, and really there's nobody left to move. Nobody left that I want to move, so I'm not going to worry about that. And nobody's treading water at sea, so I don't have to worry about landing these things for free. But I do want to do a naval reset, so all of our ships in harbor are now back at sea, barring any random event coming up. Reconvene Congress, it's not in flight. Continental enlistments do not expire, because that's only turns 2 and 4. And here we go with determining state control and moving the Liberty Bell. So... well, Carolina is the target state. We don't hold it. We only hold... well, we do hold 2 states. If you look at this, this is good. I suppose it's good. But we don't control the target state. So that Liberty Bell will hit 7. So that is that. And now we perform our state loyalty modifications starting in New England. We do not control New England. So that's going to be, well, they're already at 0, so I don't know why I'm even looking. New York is at 0, and it's going to stay at 0. Pennsylvania, we get +1 because we do control Pennsylvania, but it's -1 for the Hessians, so no change. Virginia, we get +1 for controlling it, but it's -2 because Jefferson and Hessians are there, so it's overall a -1 in Virginia. Thank goodness we were able to raise their loyalty, though. And Carolina will go down. No, it won't. It stays at 0 because it is rebel controlled. So I do believe that's all of the modifications. I'm looking because the Vermont status marker is pro-British. I don't think it means anything here because where is it? Nah, it doesn't matter here. I don't think it would have mattered anyway. So, moving right along. Quebec is out of the picture. Check for victory or defeat. So, the Liberty Bell did tick up 1. So, we are 2 ticks away from defeat. So, remember though, next turn is turn 14. And if I can keep the Liberty Bell from advancing one more time, then I can resign with I think it's considered a minor victory at that point. Let us check just to see where we're headed here. Yes, during turn 14 or 15, if the Liberty marker is in box 7 or lower, the British player may concede American independence and end the game with a marginal British victory. Well, I can tell you right now that I would definitely do that. If I reach turn 14 and we hold the Liberty Bell down to 7, Lord North is going to resign, I'm pretty sure. And this only happens in turns 14 and 15, so next 2 turns. So really the next turn, I need to keep the Liberty Bell from advancing, and to do that, I will have to take Virginia, or keep Virginia, I should say, and 2 other states. It seems like it might be possible from what I'm seeing here, so we'll see. We'll see. And now we go to random events. And we are rolling 3 D6 on the random events table now. So here's 3. And we roll 3, 4, 5. So what is a 5? All right. Where's the rule book for the random events? Tar and feathers. It's gonna be some loyalty adjustments. Okay, so this is tar and feathers. Yeah, we're gonna roll 2d6 and make some modifications here. I don't know that the whole lot's gonna be modified. Hopefully not Virginia. So roll 2d6, and the corresponding states decrease loyalty by 1 if there's at least 1 rebel unit present. And if doubles were rolled, it's double. So here it's not going to matter because everything is at 0 except for Virginia, and there are no rebel units in Virginia, so this will be a non-event for us. So that's good. Northern Radicals. I think this is more adjustments, right? Okay, so decreased New England and New York by 1, so they can't go any lower. But this is good because it says increase Virginia and Carolina by 1, so that's good. So we lost 1 in Virginia, but it's coming right back up. And Carolina, if I can dig them out, they're now at 1. And and then we have to roll for, I think it's Pennsylvania. So yeah, we're going to roll for Pennsylvania, and if the roll is, where'd it go? If the die roll is even, we'll get a +1. So let's see. Let's hope for a +1 Let's hope for an even to get the +1. No, we don't. So it goes down to, well, it stays at 0. All right, moving right along. Smallpox. So we know that inoculation event has occurred, so the Continentals will not be affected by the smallpox outbreak. And we will now roll for a state, and a 6 will be Quebec here. So let's see what happens. Let's roll for a state. It is state 3, which is Pennsylvania. And I don't think this is going to be good for us. In the state roll, remove all loyalist cause units, but not Continentals because they're okay, to their respective force pools. If the turn is 6 or later, yeah, don't remember. So basically, my loyalist just died from smallpox. So his loyalist unit is now in the force pool. We're on thin ice in Pennsylvania right now. Well, we were already on thin ice. We're on even thinner ice now. Okay, so the Vermont check. But the Vermont check is... Well, with Congress being in New York, then it doesn't matter. It stays pro-rebel, so that's good. And, oops, zoom in a little too far there. That's it. That's all the random events. And that is the end of the turn. So let's take a quick look at the board. And I think this has been major campaign 4 in a row, has it been? So I traveled back in time several turns ago to show you guys the major event and what it looked like. And I think we've had one since that turn. I think we've had a major campaign with the planned operation. Ugh. Okay, so next turn is turn... Well, we kept all of our... I just realized we kept all of our... all 4 of our frigates survived the random events turn, so that's a little bit of good news. We're going to need them. So, turn 14. This is where I want to keep the Liberty Bell from moving, and to do that, I'm going to have to control Virginia because it will be the target state. Yep, see here, target state, Virginia. And I need to take 2 other states. And right now it's looking like we write off Carolina. Maybe I want to go for... Well, it's going to depend on what happens to these smugglers, but Pennsylvania, New York, and New England, I'm going to have to take and hold 2 of those 3. So I'm thinking turn 14 will be all about Virginia North. So we're in a good position. It looks like we're in a good position in Virginia. Barring any major campaigns and planned operations, we look to be okay in Virginia. So it's going to be up to the dice and how we roll and what happens. So there you go. Turn 13. I'll let you be the judge if it was lucky turn 13 or unlucky turn 13. Again, turn 14 is critical. It's probably going to be could be the game-ending turn. So if you have any recommendations on strategy here, I am open to suggestion as for how to try my best to get the target state in those 2 other states. Please leave comments below or over at Armchair Dragoons or at Board Game Geek. And I will certainly listen. I may not follow your strategy to my own detriment because, like I said, I always say I am my own worst enemy, and ultimately I'm going to make the poorest decision I can right for me. So, leave comments and let me know what you think. And also, again, Armchair Dragoons is having a online convention the end of this month. So that's... Where are we at in this month? This is the 20... To me, it's the 23rd. I don't know when you'll watch it, so we're a week away. And come by, Armchair Dragoons, take a look at this. There's still some openings for games if you want to participate in. It costs nothing to go in and watch these games. So we have some lectures going on over there. some guys are going to give some talks. You can watch people play games that are going on. It would cost you absolutely nothing to do so. Highly recommended. I'm going to be over there. I'll be there looking at some of the games. I don't believe I registered for this, so I paid. I actually paid the entrance fee, so I could sign up for a game. Still might do it. I haven't done it yet, so come over and join us at Armchair Dragoons for our first ever Armchair Dragoons Online Con. That's probably not the name for it, but that's what I'm gonna call it. So again, as always, thank you for watching this, and I hope you come back to see turn 14, because it's I think everything is probably going to ride on turn 14 at this point, as far as me salvaging a victory. And if I win in turn 14, it'll be the first time in a very, very long time, if ever, that I think I've won a game of Don't Tread on Me. So please do come back and watch.